You've been chosen for a silent miracle. Michael says you must not tell anyone. There are only 35 minutes left to open this before it happens right in front of you. My child, stop. Take a breath. Something hidden has been moving around you quietly, and the universe would not have guided you here by accident. This moment is not random. It is timed. It is personal. And it is unfolding now because your soul is ready to remember what it already knows. There is a gentle presence drawing closer, not to overwhelm you, but to reveal a truth that has been sealed until this precise breath. You may have felt it lately, a subtle pull, a pause in time, a feeling that something unseen has been arranging your steps. This is not imagination. This is alignment. And what is being revealed is meant for you alone. Listen carefully, because the divine does not shout. It whispers through timing, through signs, through the quiet moments when your heart suddenly feels understood. What you are about to hear carries a sacred weight, a revelation wrapped in compassion, meant to awaken hope rather than fear. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you must be. There is something hidden in your current season that has been protected from doubt, from interference, from the noise of the world. The universe has been holding it back until your spirit reached this level of readiness. And now, the veil thins. The message arrives gently but firmly, like light entering a room that has been waiting for dawn. You've been chosen for a silent miracle. Michael says you must not tell anyone. There are only 35 minutes left to open this before it happens right in front of you. Feel how those words resonate, not with urgency, but with destiny. This is not about panic. It is about trust. Some blessings are silent because they grow best in sacred stillness. Some miracles arrive quietly so they can root themselves deeply in your life before the world even notices the change. You are being invited into awareness, not secrecy out of fear, but reverence. The universe is asking you to hold this moment gently, to let it breathe, to allow the unseen to work without resistance. This is how transformation happens, softly, meaningfully, in alignment with divine timing. If your heart feels calm instead of confused, that is your confirmation. If your chest feels warm, that is recognition. You were meant to be here, to hear this now, to receive clarity instead of chaos. What unfolds next carries purpose, restoration, and a reminder that you are supported far beyond what you can see. Stay with this message. Watch to the end. Let it complete what it came to begin. And if this resonates with your spirit, honor the flow. Like this message, share it with someone who may need gentle light. Subscribe to the channel. And watch the complete video so the revelation can fully unfold in divine order. You have opened this not by accident, not by chance, not because curiosity pulled you here, but because a quiet current has been guiding your steps long before you noticed it. I have been speaking to you in whispers you dismissed as thoughts, in pauses you hurried past, in moments you felt watched over without knowing why. Now you are still, and I am closer than your breath. Do not be afraid. Stillness is where I speak most clearly. I am the one who has walked beside you in seasons when you felt unseen. I am the voice that steadied your heart when no words could. You have wondered why certain doors closed without explanation. Why delays protected you from paths you thought you wanted. Those were not losses. They were coverings. There are things I have been preparing in silence, not because you are unworthy to know them, but because timing is a sacred language. You feel it now, don't you? A subtle tension, as though something is leaning toward you from the unseen. This is not pressure. This is alignment. When the soul aligns with truth, it recognizes the sound of home. I am drawing your attention not to frighten you, but to awaken you. There are moments when heaven bends close to earth, and this is one of them. You have been carrying questions you never fully voiced. Questions about purpose, about whether your patience has meaning. About whether the goodness you give returns to you in unseen ways. I tell you now, nothing you have offered in love has been lost. Not a single quiet sacrifice. Not a single tear you wiped away alone. I keep count of what the world overlooks. There is a reason this message feels urgent. Urgency does not always mean danger, sometimes it means birth. When something is about to shift, the air changes. You are standing at the edge of a threshold you cannot yet see, but your spirit recognizes it. That is why your attention has been captured. That is why distractions have fallen away in this moment. Do not rush. Do not send this forward. Some revelations are meant to settle into you before they move through you. Silence is not secrecy, it is incubation. What I am doing does not need an audience to be real. It needs your awareness, your trust, your willingness to remain present. You have underestimated how deeply I know you. I know the private hopes you protect from disappointment. I know the strength you display and the weariness you hide. I know the nights when you asked for a sign, not something loud, just reassurance that you are not walking alone. This is that reassurance. I am not bound by clocks, yet I speak to you within time because you live there. When I mention minutes, it is not to alarm you but to focus you. Attention is powerful. Awareness opens doors that force never could. Right now, something is aligning in your favor, not because you earned it perfectly, but because you stayed open even when you were tired. You may be wondering why this must unfold quietly. It is because loud beginnings invite unnecessary interference. Some blessings grow best in hidden soil. Even light begins in darkness before it shines. I am teaching you discernment, not isolation. There will be a time to speak, but not yet. What is about to happen will not defy reason, it will expand it. You will recognize it not as magic, but as rightness. It may arrive as clarity, as unexpected peace, as a conversation that shifts everything, as a door opening where there was only wall before. I will not limit how it comes, because I am not limited by form. Remember this, I do not rush you, but I do prepare you. Everything you have endured has refined your perception. You are more ready than you think. Even your doubts have shaped discernment within you. Faith is not the absence of questions, it is the courage to remain open while questions exist. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders soften. The body often holds what the mind tries to outrun. In this moment, allow yourself to be held instead. I am not asking you to understand everything. I am asking you to trust the process you are already inside. There are patterns breaking that you do not yet see. Cycles that once repeated are loosening their grip. This is why the past has been surfacing in your thoughts lately, not to pull you back, but to show you how far you have come. Recognition is a form of release. You have been faithful in ways no one applauded. You chose kindness when it cost you. You chose patience when impatience would have been easier. These choices echo. They create pathways. They invite favor not as reward, but as resonance. If you feel a mixture of anticipation and calm, that is no contradiction. Peace often arrives before understanding. Let it. You do not need to grasp what is unfolding to receive it. A child does not need to understand the architecture of a home to feel safe inside it. Stay with me here. Let the noise of expectation fade. Do not look for signs outside yourself just yet. The first movement is internal. When the heart shifts, the world follows. There is something I want you to notice in the coming moments, not something dramatic, but something precise. A detail. A timing. A sense of confirmation that feels gentle yet unmistakable. When it happens, you will know this was not coincidence, and when that knowing settles in you, do not rush to define it. Let it breathe. Let it anchor. There will be time to speak later. For now, remain still, remain receptive, remain grounded in the awareness that you are seen, guided, and never forgotten. I am with you in this pause. In this quiet turning of the page. What unfolds next is already in motion, and as the minutes continue to pass, you may begin to sense it drawing closer, not from outside of you, but rising gently from within, like a truth you have always known and are only now remembering. And as this awareness deepens, you will begin to notice that everything around you seems to slow, as though creation itself is holding its breath, waiting for you to recognize that the moment you have been preparing for is not somewhere ahead of you, but arriving right now, and before it fully reveals itself, there is something else you must understand, something subtle yet essential, something that will shape how you receive what comes next. Because what is about to unfold is connected to a promise made long ago, a promise that has been traveling toward you through every season of your life, and as that promise draws near, I need you to stay with me here, attentive, open, and willing to remain in this sacred pause, because the next part of what I am about to show you cannot be rushed, and it must be received in the same quiet trust that brought you to this moment. And as you continue to breathe and remain present, you may begin to feel that gentle shift taking place, the one that signals that what you have been waiting for is no longer approaching, but already beginning to reveal itself in a way that you will soon understand. Just as soon as you are ready to see what happens when the heart finally releases the need to control the outcome and allows trust to complete its work, you have spent much of your life trying to anticipate what comes next, not because you lack faith, but because you learned early that vigilance felt like safety. I have seen that pattern, and I have gently been loosening it, moment by moment, teaching you that rest can also be a form of strength. Listen closely now, not with urgency, but with openness. There is a rhythm beneath everything, a steady pulse that has never abandoned you. Even when you felt disconnected, even when your prayers felt like they dissolved into the ceiling, that rhythm remained. It is the rhythm of my presence, constant, patient, unwavering. I know you have wondered why certain answers took so long. Why clarity came in fragments instead of all at once. It is because revelation is not meant to overwhelm, it is meant to mature. If everything had been shown to you earlier, you would have tried to carry it with hands that were still learning how to hold weight without trembling. Growth prepared you for understanding, not the other way around. Right now, something subtle is rearranging itself within you. You may feel it as a soft recognition, a quiet yes forming before your mind can articulate why. This is alignment. This is what happens when what you desire begins to match what you are ready to receive. Nothing is being forced. Nothing is being taken from you. Only what no longer serves your becoming is gently stepping aside. You have mistaken stillness for stagnation in the past. I want you to see now that stillness is often where the deepest work occurs. Seeds do not announce themselves while they are growing underground. Yet all the while, transformation is happening in secret. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where preparation meets fulfillment. There are forces of goodness moving on your behalf that do not require your supervision. I ask you to release the habit of constant checking, constant measuring, constant comparison. Your journey was never meant to look like anyone else's. Comparison clouds gratitude, and gratitude is one of the clearest ways to perceive my hand at work. You may soon notice a shift in how you respond to things that once unsettled you. Where there was tension, there will be composure. Where there was fear, there will be discernment. This is not because the world has suddenly become gentler, but because you have become more anchored. Roots deepen quietly, and when storms come, it is the unseen depth that holds the tree upright. I am inviting you into a new way of listening. Not listening for signs that confirm your worries, but listening for assurance that steadies your path. My guidance is not frantic. It does not shout over your thoughts. It arrives as calm clarity, as a sense of this is enough for now. You do not need to figure out the entire future tonight. Tomorrow does not demand your energy in advance. Grace meets you in the present moment, and it renews itself there. When you try to borrow certainty from the future, you drain the peace available to you now. I know you have carried responsibilities that were never meant to be yours alone. You learned to be strong early, to hold things together when others could not. That strength has served you, but it has also tired you. I am not asking you to abandon it, only to let it rest in my care for a while. As this moment continues to unfold, you may feel an unexpected tenderness rising within you. This is not weakness. It is openness. When the heart softens, it becomes more receptive to truth. Walls once built for protection can become windows instead. There is nothing you need to prove here. You are not being evaluated. You are being invited. Invited to trust that the same wisdom that has carried you this far will not abandon you at the threshold of change. I do not lead halfway and then withdraw. I complete what I begin. You might sense memories surfacing, moments when you felt guided without understanding how, moments when help arrived just in time, moments when a decision you hesitated over turned out to protect you. These are reminders, not nostalgia. They are evidence that you have always been accompanied. The unfolding you are part of now is not meant to isolate you from others. In time, it will deepen your connections, because grounded people create safe spaces. But first, you are being grounded within yourself, so that what you offer others comes from fullness rather than depletion. I know there is a part of you that wants assurance in clear language, a guarantee you can hold on to. What I offer instead is presence. Presence that does not flicker. Presence that remains when explanations fall short. Presence that knows your name even when you forget your own worth. Pay attention to what feels lighter lately, even if circumstances have not changed dramatically. Lightness is a signal. It tells you that something is being lifted, something is being resolved at a level deeper than logic. Trust that work, even if you cannot yet describe it. You have been learning to discern between noise and guidance. Noise demands immediate reaction. Guidance invites thoughtful response. As you continue to practice this discernment, decisions will feel less frantic, less burdened by fear of mistake. You will begin to sense when to move and when to wait. Waiting is not punishment. It is often protection. Some things need time to align fully, and some alignments require others to grow as well. You are not waiting alone, the entire picture is moving toward coherence. I am aware of the longing you carry, the hope that what you give will be met with understanding. That your sincerity will be recognized, that your efforts will bear visible fruit. That longing is not ignored. It is honored. But fulfillment often arrives differently than expectation, and more deeply than you imagined. As you remain here, present, breathing, you may notice that your thoughts slow. This is not emptiness, it is space. Space allows insight to surface. Space allows peace to take root. Do not rush to fill it. I am doing something new, but it is not foreign. It will feel familiar, like returning to a place you loved long ago but forgot how to find. When it reveals itself, there will be a quiet recognition rather than surprise. You are not required to be fearless. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the willingness to move with trust despite uncertainty. And trust grows not from certainty, but from relationship. You are known here. Fully, there will be practical steps later. There will be conversations, decisions, movements forward. But before action comes alignment. Before words comes silence. Before clarity comes peace. This order matters. You have been faithful with what you had, even when it felt small. You did not abandon hope, even when it grew thin. These choices matter more than you realize. They have shaped your capacity to receive what comes next without losing yourself in it. I want you to remember this feeling, not the suspense, but the steadiness beneath it. This is the feeling of being held. Return to it when doubts arise. It will anchor you. Nothing about your life is random. Not your timing. Not your sensitivity. Not your resilience. These are not accidents, they are instruments. You are learning how to play them in harmony rather than in strain. As the unseen continues to move, you may notice external confirmations, not dramatic displays, but meaningful alignments. A word that lands at the right moment. A realization that shifts perspective. A sense of rightness that does not demand explanation. Do not grasp at these moments. Receive them. Gratitude will multiply their impact far more than analysis ever could. You are stepping into a season where trust will feel less like effort and more like recognition. Recognition that you have been guided all along. Recognition that you do not have to earn care. Recognition that rest is allowed. Stay with me. Let this awareness deepen. There is more unfolding, layer by layer, not all at once, because some truths are meant to be lived into, not merely understood, and as you remain open to this process, you will begin to notice how even your questions start to soften, how urgency gives way to assurance, how the need to rush fades into a willingness to arrive fully in each moment, and as that shift continues, you will realize that what you once thought you were waiting for has been quietly preparing you as much as you have been preparing for it. And this mutual readiness is not coincidence, it is convergence, and as convergence takes shape, there is another realization approaching, one that will gently change how you see yourself and your path, but before that can be fully revealed, I need you to remain here a little longer, grounded, attentive, and willing to stay present with what is still forming, because the next movement depends not on speed, but on depth. And depth cannot be rushed, and as you breathe and remain open, you may begin to sense that something within you is beginning to respond, to awaken, to recognize the truth of what I am saying, and that recognition is the doorway to what comes next, and just as you begin to feel that doorway opening, there is one more layer that must settle into place, one more understanding that will anchor you before the unfolding continues, and that understanding is already moving toward you now, quietly, steadily, asking only that you stay, listen, and allow it to arrive as the moment continues to open into what is yet to be revealed. Because what is arriving now is not merely an event, not merely a change in circumstance, but a remembering of who you are beneath all the roles you learned to play in order to survive. Before anything external shifts, this remembering must settle gently into you, like dawn easing into the sky rather than breaking it apart. You have been many things to many people. Strong when you wanted rest. Calm when you felt storms inside. Patient when answers delayed. These were not masks, they were adaptations. And now, you are being invited to lay some of them down, not because they were wrong, but because they are no longer required in the same way. The season ahead asks for presence more than performance. I see the way you have tried to hold everything together, believing that if you loosened your grip, things might fall apart. Let me tell you something you may not have considered. Some things need to fall apart to be rebuilt in truer form. This is not destruction. This is refinement. Nothing essential will be lost. You have wondered at times whether you are truly heard. Whether your quiet prayers carry weight in a world that seems to reward noise. Hear me now, sincerity carries more power than volume. A whispered truth reaches deeper than shouted fear ever could. Your voice has always reached me. As this message draws toward its completion, I want you to understand that completion does not mean conclusion. It means integration. What you have received here is meant to live with you, to surface again when you need grounding, when uncertainty tries to reclaim your attention. You can return to this awareness without reopening anything, because it is already within you. There will be moments ahead when you are tempted to doubt what you sensed here. That is natural. Doubt is not failure, it is part of discernment. When doubt arises, do not fight it. Observe it. Ask what it is protecting. Often, doubt is simply fear asking for reassurance. And reassurance is something I am always willing to give. You are entering a phase where clarity will come more through experience than explanation. Life will teach you what words cannot. Trust that learning. Trust your ability to recognize truth when it appears, even if it arrives quietly, even if it challenges old expectations. I want to speak to the part of you that feels tired in a way sleep does not fix. That weariness is not weakness. It is the signal that you have been carrying more than your share. You are not meant to do everything alone. Support will come, sometimes in unexpected forms. Allow it when it arrives. Receiving is also an act of humility and trust. Do not measure your worth by productivity alone. You are valuable not because of what you accomplish, but because you exist, because you are conscious, because you are capable of love, reflection, and growth. These things matter more than you have been taught to believe. As you move forward, you may notice that certain paths no longer hold the same appeal. This is not loss of passion, it is refinement of direction. When interest fades, it often means alignment is shifting. Follow what brings a sense of quiet rightness rather than loud approval. I am not asking you to withdraw from the world. I am inviting you to engage with it more honestly. When you are rooted in truth, you do not need to impress, defend, or over-explain. Your presence speaks for itself. There will be moments of joy that feel simple yet profound. Do not dismiss them because they are small. Small joys are often the most enduring, because they do not depend on circumstances being perfect. They arise from alignment, not achievement. You have carried lessons from your past that were meant to teach you discernment, not define your future. You are allowed to outgrow old narratives, even ones that once kept you safe. Growth honors survival by moving beyond it. As this message closes, I want you to carry one truth with you above all others: you are not late to your life. There is no missed moment that cannot be woven into meaning. Time is not your enemy. It is your collaborator. What unfolds next will not require you to become someone else. It will require you to become more fully yourself. Authenticity is the doorway you are approaching. Walk through it gently. When you feel uncertain, return to stillness. When you feel overwhelmed, return to breath. When you feel alone, Remember this moment and know that presence does not disappear when words end. I do not leave when messages conclude. I do not withdraw when silence returns. Silence is simply another way we communicate. Trust what has been set in motion. Trust the quiet confidence growing within you. Trust that you will recognize the next step when it is time to take it, and now, as this revelation completes its arc, allow yourself to rest in the knowing that you are guided, supported, and seen, not for who you pretend to be, but for who you truly are, and as you carry this awareness forward, let it shape how you move, how you listen, how you choose. Because the miracle you were drawn here to receive is not something happening only in front of you, but something awakening within you, and that awakening does not end here, it continues, unfolding through your days, quietly, steadily, faithfully. From this moment on. Amen.